Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 10.
North Dakota's Attorney General has joined a group that's calling on Congress to close a federal loophole that allows those who bring in fentanyl to stay a step ahead of law enforcement. Fentanyl is currently a controlled substance, and when used as prescribed by a doctor, it can be a safe painkiller. However, without careful supervision, fentanyl, modified with other substances, can be lethal. Attorney General Wayne Stencham says the group Stopping Overdoses of Fentanyl Analogs Act, or SOFA, would make certain groups of substances illegal, starting at the core molecular level.
What happens is that some of these greedy scientists will come in, they'll take the core compound of fentanyl and they'll adjust a molecule or two, come up thereby with a new chemical compound that's not specifically listed in the statute, and that makes it very difficult, if not impossible, to prosecute.
Stencham says the amount of fentanyl in crime labs across the nation went from about 600 in 2012 to more than 47,000 in 2016. A child predator can target our children from anywhere in this digital age. West Fargo school officials were reminded of that recently with the arrest of former teacher Shannon Mosier, who pleaded guilty to sex crimes with students. In an effort to keep kids safe, school leaders there met with parents and the community to talk about how our perceptions of these predators can make kids more vulnerable to other threats. Valley News Team's education reporter Veronica Marshall tells us what parents can do to better protect their children.
There are a lot of unknowns when it comes to child predators, but the information experts have is troubling.
90% are individuals you trust and even sometimes love. And that number should scare us all.
In that sense, Shannon Mosier's arrest and guilty pleas for sex-related crimes with children makes sense. But still, her crimes came as a surprise.
Why was it inconceivable in our minds that she could be a sexual predator? Was it because she was a woman, or a teacher, or a wife, or a parent? Or was it because we are so out of touch that we don't even know what a predator in 2018 looks like?
Now, school administrators say Mosier showed them schools alone aren't enough to stop predators, so they're asking the community to come together to help protect kids.
Policy isn't going to change the behavior that we've witnessed. And I think that was the scary piece. And so when we, as an administrative group, and as you talk with other teachers, that heavy sense of sadness said we have to do more. But we can't do it without all of you.
The panel recommended that parents check in with their kids and sometimes even check in on their kids' phones, something some of the panel members say they already do with their own children.
I honestly love when my parents ask me about my life.
This is not about whether I trust him or not. He's a great kid. He does not have the capacity to understand if he's being lured, if they're being honest and truthful. And so I have to be that filter, and I have to teach him how to become that filter.
In West Fargo, Veronica Marshall, Valley News Live.
Tonight's talk was just one of a series, so if you didn't make it out, there will be more to come. Dozens of opponents of Enbridge Energy's plan to replace its aging Line 3 crude oil pipeline across northern Minnesota blocked an intersection in downtown Bemidji for nearly 4 hours as they called on Governor Mark Dayton to stop the project. Several activists were briefly detained and given tickets when police officers and sheriff's deputies broke up the peaceful protest. There was also a small protest at the state capitol. The pipeline carries Canadian crude from Alberta through North Dakota and Minnesota to Enbridge's terminal in Superior, Wisconsin. Enbridge says the replacement will be safer, but opponents say the project poses unacceptable risks of oil spills in pristine areas of northern Minnesota. Minnesota regulators approved the project in June, but it still needs state, local, and federal permits. A West Fargo mom who recently bought her young kids their first cell phone found out it previously belonged to a prostitute. After receiving strange text messages, she first thought it was an ex-boyfriend of the previous number holder. But then the mom of three soon realized her kid's new phone number was previously on an adult website.
There was a person saying, I'm
30-year-old male in West Fargo. I live alone in my home. I'm looking to get together. This is my first time. I want to be dominated. And he was really persistent. Like, I think there were maybe like 10, 15 messages where he just kept asking and asking. And, you know, this ad looks too good to be true.
Zimney says at least 20 separate numbers have since texted the kid's phone. She says she's holding on to the numbers for now to help police investigate. The West Fargo Police Department would not comment on the case, saying it is an ongoing investigation. What a great day we had. And of course, we're looking for more days like today. Hutch, what's tomorrow looking like?
Well, right now we're just enjoying a gorgeous view of the moon rising out in our eastern skies. A little blurry right now, but we can get that fixed. Take a look at this on the radar. Everybody quiet with the exception of near Langdon. A few showers trying to develop there. And as we take a look, we did have 2 tornadoes on Sunday night. National Weather Service doing survey damage around Tornado Track 1. 100 yards wide and a 16-mile path going through Winger, damaging barns and outbuildings. Tornado 2 made its way up into Clearwater County, doing numerous areas of damage. 58 degrees as we go through the evening hours. We'll stay in those 50s, and it does look like we start our day out tomorrow in the 50s. It does look like we have some thunder in the forecast, though, Andrea. I'll have hour-by-hour details in your forecast coming up in just a moment.
Okay, thanks, Hutch. The Commander-in-Chief will once again be making his way to Fargo as the race for one of North Dakota's Senate seats continues to heat up. Kevin Cramer's campaign announced today that President Donald Trump will be traveling to Fargo on Friday, September 7th for a campaign stop. The president held a rally at Shields Arena back in June. Valley News Team's Katie Opperly has more on Trump's visit and how the city of Fargo is already starting to prepare for his arrival.
President Donald Trump will be returning to Fargo for the second time this year. He's coming in support of Kevin Cramer in his campaign against Heidi Heitkamp. We know that the president will be at the Delta Marriott Hotel. What we don't know is if the event will be open to the public. As the details of his visit unfold in the coming days, officials from a number of departments in the city need to be ready.
We work together with Fire, PD, and we start looking at what do we need for the motorcade, what do we need for the crowd.
FM Ambulance Operations Manager Brett Wigglesworth says as they work together, they are keeping in mind the difficult situations of President Trump's last visit.
The biggest thing is, like the last time when the president was here, was the weather. The heat was a big factor in that one. But we kind of prepare for a lot of different things.
And while Wigglesworth feels the last visit went well, a number of people waiting outside Shields Arena for hours prior to the president's arrival had to be treated for heat stroke. He says it's best to prepare for any possible situation.
It's a very dynamic situation. We kind of just adapt to what we need to and what the needs are from what we're requested for.
Keeping people safe is the goal, and officials will have to work together and get plans in place quickly as word begins to spread of the presidential visit.
The crowd is the biggest concern because of the numbers of people and then the elements that they're standing in or waiting in.
In Fargo, Katie Opperly, Valley News Live.
With just over a week to prepare, FM Ambulance is waiting on more instructions from the Secret Service or police. Stick with Valley News Live for more updates on President Trump's return to Fargo. Pothole help is coming to Grand Forks thanks to a popular pizza delivery company. Domino's Pizza has given the city a $5,000 grant as part of its Paving for Pizza program. Grand Forks will use the funds to buy pothole repair material. Domino's Pizza received over 137,000 nominations from all 50 states as part of the campaign. And because of the high number of nominations, Domino's will be issuing grants to one community in all 50 states. A police pursuit of a suspect who stole a car that literally went in circles for more than an hour. The chase brought out a crowd and their camera phones, with the suspect even slowing down a few times to taunt officers and fist bump witnesses. Police say a man driving a white pickup truck is said to have backed into a police car during a traffic stop, then fled the scene. Officers say the driver had a strong odor of alcohol on him when he was eventually arrested. Are you ready for some football? Well, the Bison players and the staff at the Fargo Dome are. And before you head to the Dome, the home opener this Saturday, Dome staff want you to know the ways that you can expedite your process of getting through the metal detectors and into the game. Valley News Team's Joseph Ojo looks into what you can expect before heading out to kickoff.
Before kickoff at 2:30 p.m. this Saturday, doors will open at 1. but fans might notice a handful of new signs reminding game goers of what you can and cannot bring into the dome, as the new walk-through metal detectors are now in full swing.
The biggest thing is, number one, patience, but number two, that you as the guest also play a big role in how quickly you can get through there.
General Manager Rob Sobolik says to consider packing light, adding that while some bags are necessary to bring, like diaper bags, just remember that those bags will be subject to search, adding more time to your entrance into the game. Large keys, chains, and phones need to be placed on tables as you proceed through the detection unit, and once you are clear, you can enjoy kickoff.
It's not like going through the airport, so you don't have to take off your shoes, you don't have to remove your belt, your watch.
If your watch is full with metal, it could likely set the machine off. Secondary searchers with wands will be on hand all season long as well, to keep up with ensuring safety of all. And when it comes to tailgating, much won't change.
Upwards of 8 to 10 Fargo police officers, building security, building event staff, parking attendants, they're all roaming throughout the parking lots and roads and everything, controlling different things, on this whole 50-plus acre site.
If you are worried about safety at public events after the mass shooting at a game tournament in Jacksonville, Sobolik says you as the general public play a role in the overall security of the event. He also adds that if you see something, be sure to say something.
Unfortunately, the world that we live in today, it can happen anywhere and at any time, and eventually it just might, and that's very unfortunate, but that's the circumstances that we live in today's world.
And for a list of those prohibited items, just head over to our website, valleynewslive.com, and click on this story. Reporting in the Dome, Joseph Ojo, Valley News Live.
The metal detectors have been in place since February and have gotten some test runs at certain events held at the Dome. While the Bison football games will be the largest crowds to go through the new detectors, Sobolik expects a safe environment for all games. Later on Valley News Live at 10, breast cancer surgery offers many women a good chance of being cured. But for a certain age group, it can actually bring more problems and even death.
But next, temperatures today mainly in the low to mid 70s with some 60s out towards Wadena. Crystal clear skies and a view of a gorgeous moon. I'll have details on some thunder in your forecast next.